through the gates.
In Arizona, you live in a gated community. I do not live in a gated community, but I have a gate.
I like the gates.
Got 3 feet high, a gate. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Chiefs try to stay alive. LaMelo Ball is reportedly open to a trade, and Alex Ovechkin posts a hat trick. But we begin today with last night's Thursday night game in which the Houston Texans, a 6.5-point underdog at home, smothered Josh Allen. Sacked him 8 times, won the game 23-19. Buffalo is now 7-4 and 2.5 games behind New England in division. The Texans have won 3 games in a row with Davis Mills substituting for the concussed C.J. Stroud. They're 6-5 and a half game out of the playoffs right now. Wilbon, what does this loss do to your estimation of the Bills, and how much does this win elevate your perception of the Texans?
You know, Tony, I'm not going wildly out of the middle on this because in my weekly pool, I picked Houston narrowly, no confidence in it, but they're playing that game at home. They've got the number 1 defense. We knew that going into the game.
That's right.
So, now they beat up on Josh Allen.
They did.
In a way that we're not accustomed to seeing.
8
sacks,
right?
And so you got 3 turnovers from Buffalo. You got the 8 sacks. They just look powerful, Houston's defense. But I don't know if offensively they can hold up the rest of the year, particularly with the uncertainty of quarterback, to even make the playoffs.
I'll get to all of
even make the playoffs. But Buffalo, Tony, I don't want to overstate it. Buffalo, despite all that we just talked about, Buffalo had a chance to win that game in the end on the road. I'm not going crazy.
Okay, so I will start with Buffalo. Buffalo cannot stop the run. Cannot stop the run at all. Buffalo has no wide receivers that are particularly threatening. Buffalo at the moment has Josh Allen and James Cook and essentially nothing else. I think it's possible, I don't think it will happen, I think it's possible they can miss the playoffs. And can you imagine a year in which Buffalo and Kansas City both miss the playoffs? Houston has surprised me. I understand that C.J. Stroud is a better quarterback than Davis Mills. But when C.J. Stroud was in there, Houston was 3-5. And with Mills, they are 3-0. He's got 5 touchdown passes, only 1 interception. In those 3 games, he's gotten the team to 75 points, which is a lot of points. He has been everything you could want of a backup. Everything you could want.
Of a backup.
Of a backup.
And
I'm not saying he's a starter.
That can mean holding the fort
for 3
exactly
games. Right. It's exactly right. So on this high-quality program yesterday, Booger McFarland extolled the Washington defense, and not the Washington, the Houston defense, and it turns out he's 100% right.
He is 100%.
Okay. They held Buffalo to 3 points in the second half. On 40% of the snaps that Buffalo had in the second half, they gained either no yards or negative yards. They have only allowed more than 20 points once all year, and statistically, they have the best defense in the entire league. I agree with you about the offense. Do they have enough offense? But what is interesting to me now...
Home last night on night you sacked Josh Allen 8 times.
The AFC has completely turned upside down. It's upside down. You have Houston, you have Indianapolis.
Yeah, but those teams were supposed to be better even a year ago.
You have Denver, you have New England.
A year ago.
You don't...
I mean, but that's...
saying,
Tony, there's a coming draft. There's free agency. The leagues, all of them are built to reward being bad for a while and you rise to the top. It's not going to last forever for Kansas City, and Buffalo hadn't even got there yet. Not all the way there. Houston going to make the playoffs, yes or no?
I think they will. I think they will. I think that division that they're in, which used to be a lousy division with Indianapolis and Jacksonville, they are all 3 playoff candidates.
Can you get rid of the all-red uniforms? The Thursday night thing with the whole color, stop with that. It's just dumb.
I don't like it.
Let's move to the biggest NFL game of the weekend. Colts at Chiefs. The Colts are one of the biggest surprises in the league at 8-2. So are the Chiefs at 5-5. But Kansas City would appear to need this win to stay alive for the playoffs. Tone, do you expect the Chiefs to get it?
Okay, so let me just state first, this is a 1 o'clock game. This is the biggest game of the weekend. It's on at 1 o'clock. Here are some 4 o'clock games, right? Browns, Raiders, Jaguars, Cardinals, Falcons, Saints at 4. What?
Shows you the television executive can screw it up too.
Do I expect the Chiefs to win? I do expect the Chiefs to win, but I expected the Chiefs to win at Denver after a bye, and they did not. I expected Buffalo to win last night, and they did not. I think that my expectations are based on a muscle memory of the 6 to 8 preceding years in which Buffalo and Kansas City always made the playoffs. So that's sort of what I expect. The fact is that these are not the Chiefs of last year either.
No.
They were 11-0 in one-score games last year. They're 0-5, I believe, in one-score games this year. Patrick Mahomes is not the Patrick Mahomes of last year. He is not as effective close and late. And I'll give you a statistic here. In 11 snaps in close and late, okay, and close and late is defined as a one-score game and starting a drive in the last 5 minutes of the game. He's like, I don't know, 2 for 10 on 29 yards, and he had that bad sack last week. So, I mean, and the Chiefs' defense gives up first downs late, so it's not the same.
Tony.
It's not the same.
It doesn't last forever for anybody. You and I covered a lot of the 49ers, Montana to Young, under Walsh, with, of course, Rice. And at some point, you know, the Giants caught him. I remember Joe Montana laying out on the turf, having been knocked out late in that run that the 49ers had. We've seen all the great teams.
But do you think Kansas City will win this game?
You know, yeah.
That's so do I.
Because I thought the 49ers would win all those games too, and they didn't. And then you thought the Giants, you thought the Bears of the 85. You think they'll win all the games until they don't. And because the other teams are working hard to catch them. There are teams that have been chasing Kansas City unsuccessfully for a dozen years.
Not a dozen, but
close. 10.
Close.
And now, so Denver looks like it is going to say, aha, we got you. So let's see how this plays out. Yes, I expect Kansas City to win this game. But you know what? Colts are pretty good.
Would you agree that Indianapolis and New England are the biggest surprises this year? Indianapolis and New England.
There's no doubt about that.
Here is why Indianapolis has to win this game. Here is their schedule coming up. Listen to this. At Kansas City this game, home Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, home 49ers, home Jacksonville, at Houston. There's not a cupcake in that.
4 of those.
Oh, they could lose more than that. There's not a cupcake in it. Let's move. Let's move to the NBA and LaMelo Ball. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
He was Rookie of the Year for Charlotte in 2021. Since then, he's been hurt a lot and has disappeared before our eyes. Well, according to Yahoo, Ball has grown increasingly frustrated and is open to a trade. Ball said after practice today, quote, "I love being here, so it's just false info," unquote. Wilbon, do you consider Ball to be a trade target of consequence?
Depending on who's doing the targeting. We talked about this in a different context with John Moran, where you've got just an otherworldly talent. Ball is a talented kid with the ball. He's something of a wizard with the ball in his hand. Doesn't make any difference because he's not playing for a team that's been any good, but he also hasn't been good enough to lead, to inspire, to make other players better. He's not been that guy. But perhaps if he's somewhere else, I'm going to mention the team you and I mentioned with John Morant, the Celtics. A place where you've got structure, you've got history, both recent and long-term. You've got the kind of discipline starting at the top of the pyramid that affects everybody. So maybe if he's targeted by that kind of franchise, Ball will be worthy. Right now he's not, even though Charlotte's got better players. Knipple, this kid from Duke, can shoot it. He can play. If I'm Charlotte, I'm saying, you know what? We're going to move you on, kid. We're going to try to find somebody that can come in here and make the most of our current situation.
Here's the good news about Ball.
What?
The good news is he's averaging 9.6 assists a game, and he had 2 full years in the league where he averaged more than 8, and that's good. The bad news about Ball is he's shooting 38.5% from the floor, 29.8% from 3.
Lowest.
Right, so it's a small sample size, 9, but those are not great numbers. Here's my problem with this story. I don't have any real sense of Charlotte anymore. I know that Charlotte is 4-7. They have not been in the playoffs in 10 years. They have not advanced in the playoffs since 2002, before they were the Bobcats. You know, when they
4-11 now, by
4-11? Okay, so I got that wrong. And so I don't know if his skills translate to a better team. And this is what I'm getting at. Sometimes there's a guy who's a good player on a bad team, and he's not a good player on a good team. Bradley Beal comes to mind to me. Good player on a bad team. Would I take a chance on LaMelo Ball? Yeah, but you know, Mike, doesn't it seem to you that LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Ball are from an era in the distant past? Doesn't it seem to you that that is so far gone when they were important?
And they've still got chances because they're still pretty young.
Yes.
But with Melo, Tony, he doesn't play. He's only played in more than 51 games once in his career.
Why do you?
Alonzo had that serious injury, which was too bad because the Bulls were the #1 seed when he got hurt, and he was sort of the star. He was the glue of it, not the star of it. So I don't know what it means for both of them. LaMelo Ball's got so much talent. You want to think that somebody like your old coach, Larry Brown, would say, son, come over here. We're going to squeeze this out of you.
Yeah.
Maybe there's still that.
I agree with the whole concept that it takes a strong coach and a strong organization. Yeah. It really does. Let's take a break. Coming up, what would it mean for the Bucks to beat the Rams this weekend?
And old man Ovechkin scored a hat trick last night. What's the word for that?
I just remember when their dad was on television all the time.
Too much.
And everything about them was overstated. Yeah. And it just seems like 50 years ago. Yeah. And it's only 5 or 8 or whatever it is.
Welcome back to Pardon the Interruption, presented by Crown Royal, part of Happy Hour.
Time for Wilbon to get buried by my vocabulary. I left the doctor coat at
Where's
home.
your coat?
I left it home. I'm sorry. What's first?
It would be blank if the Buccaneers were to beat the Rams.
It would be surprising. It would not be shocking because Tampa Bay is a good team, but it would be surprising. The game is in Los Angeles, right? The Rams are hot. They've won 5 games in a row at this point. And the Bucs are coming out of an incredibly brutal schedule. Here is the games they've had to play. Eagles, Seattle, 49ers, Lions, Saints, that's the cupcake. New England, Buffalo, and now the Rams. Collective record of those teams is 54-29. Take the Saints out because they're no good. It's 52-21. That is really a gauntlet. The thing is, Tampa Bay has been competitive. Baker Mayfield's having a great year. 17 touchdown passes and
despite half his weapons being hurt.
Yeah, and everybody's hurt all the time. Yeah. I think the Buccaneers are going to be very elated when this game is over because here's what they've got coming up. Arizona, the Saints, the Falcons, Carolina, Miami, Carolina again, and they could, in a word you like to say, run the table.
I'm going the other way totally from you on this. I'm going predictable that they could win this game.
Really?
Here's why. We know they have won at the Falcons, and by the way, they helped set the table for the Falcons' disappointing season because the Falcons thought they were going to win the division right out the gates. Boom, lose at home. At the Texans, who we just got through slurping. Forget the Jets. At Seattle, who you know I've got being the best team in the NFC.
That's right.
The 49ers, okay, and then forget the Saints. But then the losses, Eagles, at Lions, New England, Buffalo, at Buffalo. These are your argument leads to my conclusion too, which is predictable. I think Tampa Bay will go on and do this. I think there's another moment to be had for Baker Mayfield, even though he seems to be playing shorthanded every week.
Every single week. But the Rams, if I'm not mistaken.
The Rams have no home field advantage.
I understand, but wasn't one of the Rams' losses on a blocked field goal attempt that was run back for a touchdown?
Yes.
I mean, the Rams could be like, 40-1 at this point.
So
right?
I'm being told that Chris Godwin could play.
Okay, good. He's a great receiver. What's next? What's next?
It's blank that Alexander Ovechkin had a hat trick last night.
It's terrific. Come on, he's 40 years old and he had a hat trick. Here is the list of everybody else in the history of the NHL who's had hat tricks over the age of 40. Lidstrom, Howe, Johnny Busick, Solani, Jaromir Jagr. They're all Hall of Famers, right? Jagr will be in the Hall of Fame when he stops playing. Yeah, and they will welcome Ovechkin into the Hall of Fame. Ovechkin now has 907 goals, the most ever. He's the best goal scorer in history. He's not the best player. We both agree on that. He's the best goal scorer in history. But he started out this year. He only had 2 goals in his first 12 games. And so you could say, well, maybe he's done. Maybe it's over. He now has 7 goals in his last 6 games.